If you're a podcaster, or maybe you're thinking about starting a podcast, you've probably wondered, do I really need fancy tools? Can't I just use Zoom? Can I just use my microphone off of my laptop? And I want to talk to you today about some tools for podcasting. And I get it. Zoom, it's convenient, and we all became pros at using it during the pandemic. But here's the deal. When it comes to podcasting, the quality of your audio and video matters more than you think. And that's where today's tool comes in. And by the end of today's episode, you'll understand why I made the switch and why you might want to as well. Welcome to this week's Rocky Mountain Marketing Quickcast. This is your go-to source for actionable advice and the latest news in social media and digital marketing. Every Thursday in just 8 to 12 minutes, I'm going to be delivering quick, impactful tips to help you stay ahead in the fast-paced digital landscape. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to today's Rocky Mountain Marketing Quickcast episode. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that's been a game changer for my podcast production process. And I know this is all digital marketing. Well, podcasting, I think, is a huge part of the content creation. I guess I'll just say it, hamster wheel. We're all on this hamster wheel of content creation. And I think that podcasting, if you have a podcast, it makes content creation so much easier. From you have the audio side of things, you have the video side of things, you can turn it into written content, you can turn it into social content. I think that if you have a podcast, it makes things so much easier to create content consistently. And I want to talk about, if you have a podcast, if you've been thinking about starting one, I want to talk about a tool today that I think you have to check out. And I think it's hands down better than Zoom for recording your podcast. And like I said before, I get it. Zoom is convenient. We all became pros at it during the pandemic. But today I want to talk about a tool that is actually designed for you to create video and audio content from. And it is a tool called Riverside. And the first reason that I think that Riverside beats Zoom is the audio quality. Okay, so this is one thing that I always tell my clients. So for those of you that are just maybe tuning in at Next Step Social, we offer social media and podcast production. So turnkey social media solutions and podcast production. And one thing that I always tell my clients is that your podcast's audio quality is just as important as the content itself. So people will forgive a little fuzziness with the video, but bad audio, that's a deal breaker. And this is the thing, Zoom, it was not designed for great audio. Zoom compresses audio files to save bandwidth. Remember, Zoom was for conferencing, which can leave you with a recording that, again, it's compressing the bandwidth. So it's going to leave you with a recording that might sound a little flat or muffled. And if there's bad interconnection, well, you'll hear every single glitch and delay. Riverside, on the other hand, it records audio locally on each participant's device, and that up to 48 uncompressed audio. So you get crystal clear sound no matter what your internet connection is doing. So let me give you an example. So once I recorded a podcast episode where my guest had spotty Wi-Fi. On Zoom, that would have been a disaster. During the pandemic, when I first started this podcast, I was recording my podcast on Zoom from my basement. It was a disaster. There was lots of glitches because in the basement, the Wi-Fi was going through things. There was delays. And this was back in the days when I was doing all of my editing for the podcast. Before the days of AI, I was using GarageBand. It took me hours to fix a lot of these delays. Now, AI has helped a lot of things, but on Riverside, if this were the case today, the audio would have been flawless because it would have recorded my audio locally and the guest's audio locally, and it would have been uploaded together in the background. So if you want professional audio quality, Riverside is the way to go. And again, like I said before, if you are creating a podcast, you have so much more content. Turn on the camera. I think that having the video for your podcast is a no-brainer because people all consume content differently. And if you have video for your podcast, even if your podcast is audio only, if you're only going to upload it the audio side of things. You're not going to publish it on YouTube. Hear me out. Video still matters. And here's why. Because repurposing your content is everything. You can take clips from your recording and use them for Instagram Reels, LinkedIn posts, even YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts have been a game changer for growing my YouTube subscribers and my YouTube audience. But if your video looks like it was filmed on a potato, hello, Zoom, it's not doing your brand any favors. Riverside records in 4K video quality. Yes, 4K. So if you compare that to Zoom, which often downgrades your video based on the internet connection, and again, it compresses it, you're going to have way better quality content for your video. With Riverside, you get that 4K quality, that sharp professional look that's really perfect for social media and other marketing materials. So here's what I do. After recording an episode in Riverside, they have a magic clip tool. As soon as I'm done, there is a button I click and it says to generate magic clips. You can pull 15, 30, 60-second clips of the most powerful moments of the podcast, and you can use it for promo content. Again, this is just an easy way to repurpose content going forward. Is the content perfect? Is it the best content for you to push out there? Not always, but if you are struggling to produce content regularly, this is a great way to, again, start creating more content consistently. So if you're serious about marketing your podcast, Riverside's video is a no-brainer.
Let's take a quick break. I have to tell you about something that I'm super excited about. If you've been podcasting for a while and you want to start actually making money from your show, you are going to love this. I have an upcoming masterclass where I'm going to teach you exactly how to land top paying sponsors, even if you have a small but loyal audience. It is time to stop waiting for sponsors to knock on your door and start reaching out to the ones that really want your audience. Ready to make it happen? Head to katiebrinkley.live/RMM or head to the link in the show notes. Grab your spot today. All right, let's get back to the show.
This might be my favorite reason to use Riverside over Zoom. Riverside was built with podcasters and creators in mind. Zoom was built for virtual meetings. It was not designed to meet the needs of content creators. And here's what I love about Riverside, the separate tracks. Again, it records each participant's audio and video on separate tracks. And you might say, well, Katie, why is this important? Well, it makes editing so much easier. If one person coughs, if there's a doorbell that rings, if someone talks over the other, you can fix it without editing the whole recording. There's also producer mode. Like I said before, we help a number of our clients produce and edit their podcasts. So you can have a producer or a team member join in on the recording without being on camera or audio. They can monitor the quality, they can troubleshoot, they can manage the session without interrupting any of the flow. And then number 3, easy integration. Riverside lets you export your recordings directly into tools like Adobe Audition, Final Cut Pro, Descript, Adobe Premiere, you name it. We use Descript here at Next Step Social. It saves a whole lot of time in post-production. If you're interested in Descript, I have a great podcast episode with Jeff C., and he talks all about how you can use Descript for editing and how it's a great tool. Be sure to check that out. I'll include a link to that episode in the show notes. Again, it's with Jeff C., but I love Descript for editing. And with Riverside, it makes it very, very easy to do. So for our workflow here, for example, I recently had a guest, Justin Moore. He was a guest on the podcast recently. And not only did I kick my video camera in the middle of the recording, I kicked it and knocked it over, I bumped my microphone and all this stuff. It was a disaster. But thanks to separate tracks, and Justin's amazing, he just kept on talking and going on through, despite the fact that I was having a little mini meltdown of resetting up my camera equipment, adjusting the microphone and everything. you never knew, right? If you want to go back and listen or watch that episode, you don't see me struggling or anything with it because we have those separate tracks. My team was able to isolate their audio. We were able to fix the issue, and we were able to make it look seamlessly like there was no struggle on Katie and her kicking cameras and microphones. And it looks like a great episode. So Riverside, again, is built for creators, and it makes every step of the process easier and more efficient. And then last but not least, if you have internet problems, I know I talked about this earlier, but man, I do think that Riverside did have a problem with this early on. So if you were using Riverside back during the pandemic in 2020, 2021, and you left it, come check it out again, because this was one of the problems that I saw with Riverside back then. Now they have fixed it. There used to be a lot of lag problems, and they fixed that problem, and it's really been a game changer. So again, with Zoom, what you see is what you get. If your internet drops or if you lags during a recording, that's baked into that final file. But with Riverside, recordings happen locally. So even if the internet drops out, even if the internet lags, the final file is flawless. So bad internet does not have to ruin your podcast when you use Riverside. So quick recap, why I think Riverside is a better solution for you to use if you are creating content for a podcast or YouTube than Zoom. Number one is the audio quality. You get that crystal clear, uncompressed audio quality that is recorded locally. Number two, the 4K video, and perfect for repurposing content and promoting your episodes. Number three, the creator-friendly features. So again, these separate tracks, producer mode, and the easy integrations. Again, click of a button, I can make a whole bunch of short-form videos using AI that's built into Riverside. Number four, internet proof. Again, no more worrying about lag or dropped connections. It all looks great in there. And then again, if you have a team or if you are producing your podcast yourself, that streamlined production, it's going to save time for you to have these different tracks, and you're going to get better results. If you're serious about growing your podcast and creating a professional quality looking content, I really can't recommend Riverside enough. Switching to it has totally leveled the Rocky Mountain Marketing podcasting game, and I know it can do the same for you. I'd love to hear what tools you use for your podcast. Again, always shoot me a DM on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Let's chat. And if you feel like you are stuck with your podcast or have any questions, I do have my podcast masterclass. I'll include a link to that in the show notes, but you can always check that out at katiebrinkley.live/RMM. And if you're just getting started with it, I have a checklist, which is katiebrinkley.live/checklist. All this stuff will be in the show notes, guys. Connect with me. Again, I think Riverside is a game changer for producing content, better quality content than Zoom. And let me know what your thoughts are. If you've checked out Riverside versus Zoom, which one do you like better? I know that switching to Riverside was an absolute game changer for Rocky Mountain Marketing, and I know it can do the same for you.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.